right, how is it going, everyone? It is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024, and this is the video for today. Hopefully, I have sorted out all of my technical issues because that has been a pain, but let's start with the market. Let's go over the pick from the previous video, which had some technical difficulties. So, this video, I'll give you maybe 2 picks. And then we will take it from there. I also plan to do a January trade review. So I look at all the picks I did for January. We see how many I won at, what they looked like, what were some common themes among them. And I want to do that for every month so you can see how these trades do on a monthly basis. So let's start with the market over here. You can see that the strength continues in SPY. After this breakout, we compressed for 2 days. We gapped up higher. There wasn't really any news or strong news per se. If you look at the SPY extended hours M5 chart, there was like some rally in the last, 2 hours of the market, which I don't know what it was, but it was pretty flat overnight. And then we had this rally up. So that's why we were pretty cautious at the open. We didn't know what news there was there to justify that move up. We came down here, tested the gains, and then we saw a nice leg higher. So we're still cautious here because we have this gap hold and go. So we want to make sure that this gap isn't faded. So we came down here. The price action was choppy to start the day, broke out through this downward sloping trend line. We tried to break through this high, had another retest, and then we finally broke through it over here. The volume is pretty low today. The price action is pretty garbage after this initial move, but I am mildly bullish. You can see that we have technically made higher high, higher low. We're above VWAP and we've held the gains for the day. It's actually sort of this mirror opposite of yesterday. Right, yesterday we have the test up. We have a strong move down, and then we chop around between VWAP and the high of the day. Here we have the strong move up, and we chop around between VWAP and the high of the day. The price action is a little bit better, but I do like pointing out sort of these mirrors between different days. So my intraday bias on this move was on kind of around here was bullish. If we look at the play-by-play here, this is kind of what I saw. We held the gap up. We marched higher. We came down, tested VWAP. Seems like we're holding it with a couple of tails. We had the 1OP cross and LRSI cross coming down. The move up didn't have a lot of volume, except we got a little bit of volume over here. The move down was fairly choppy, and we didn't have a lot of momentum and a lot of volume coming down. So I did take some longs here. These are very short-term day trades or overnight swings for these positions, and they came down over here, and now they're starting to climb back up higher. So if you took longs here, you took a little bit of heat here, and then the market has been grinding up higher since then. So pretty bullish for the day. The tech stocks were doing pretty well. There's some nice breakouts over there. Decent amount of sectors are up. There's a few sectors that are weak, like real estate and utilities. The flight to safety is pretty down. Mega cap is generally on the stronger side. So the market components are also looking a little bit more bullish. There's more stocks on the heavy buy than the heavy sell, and a lot of nice picks on the green royal flush. So a lot of stocks are staying on the bullish side. However, with the longer term market context, we do know a couple of things. One, the major catalysts of earnings and news are behind us. So we're a little bit more cautious about what are pushing asset managers higher. There's not a lot of volume in this rally. You can see there's not a lot of volume today. So this is, I believe, a seller's boycott. And there should be strong psychological resistance at 500. So my bias is, okay, we're above the prior day high, which I like. I could do some short-term swings, but I'm really cautious of this gap up and major sell-off at 500. That's kind of what I'm watching for. So I do want to take profits at the open for some of my positions tomorrow that are in strong charts, and I don't want to be stuck in positions that overstay my welcome. So I'm looking for more put credit spreads, and I'm looking to distance myself from the action, and I am looking to just be safe over here. We could go up higher. We could break through 500. That's great. My SPY swing share is still doing quite well ahead of some of these major news. And I still like the market on a longer term basis. We just would feel more confident after a pullback, like somewhere here, where we can enter these longer term swings. So I want to see this sort of move play out here in the next week or two. That's what I'm looking for in SPY. This pullback over here. So that's why we're being a little cautious, because the market has made a nice run up here, and it's getting a little bit overextended today. We are being anticipatory, right? Just like how we were anticipatory here, right? We knew that there was strong seasonality, there was some support over here. We had to keep that in mind. Same thing on the opposite side here, except we're bullish long term. We just want to see that dip. That's really what we're waiting for over here. So we're playing it a little bit more light. All right. So our long-term bias is very bullish. Our short-term bias, for me, I'm mildly bullish right now. I like this move up here, but I am just cautious and I'm playing it more short-term. So the pick from the last video, which didn't come out, was actually AXP. So you can see here, AXP, liked it a few days ago. I still like it here. It's been grinding up, so 206, has a high of about 208.35. So just grinding up higher. Pretty nice stock, pretty nice breakout. I did say if you could get that put credit spread over here, but it's not giving the pullback here. So I'm saying wait for the market pullback, and if you can get a put credit spread on this stock, I really like that. You could also do a shorter term swing, and it'll play out quite well. So ZM was a nice one. There's also quite a few earnings time spreads coming up, so people are taking Disney. Save is one that I like a lot. You can see doesn't exceed earnings. A lot of good option liquidity. Very good difference over here. ARM is a newer stock, but it's nice on paper. So all of these are looking pretty nice. So let's go over some picks for this video. So my tags got erased because I had to restart my option Stalker. But if we go to the green royal flush, you'll see a couple of stocks I like. The first one is PanW. We got a really nice breakout of compression. We have some time before earnings, so I believe that this stock will continue higher. If we look at the M5 chart right now, I did take a position right here. It looks like it has to still digest some of these gains from the big move up. So I'm not too worried about PanW, and I do plan to take profits on a short-term swing, an overnight swing, because I like the price action on that. So PanW is a position that I am in. The other position that I am in over here is Meta. Meta had a nice rally up. It's digesting some of the gains. On the D1 chart, it is pretty strong earnings reaction. You can see there's a lot of alerts coming up over here. Pretty strong earnings reaction. It came back, tested the gap, held, rallied back higher. So I got my H1 alert on Meta. If you look at the H1 chart here, you can see how it came down and tested, and it's starting to move up higher. It's also above AVWAP and the gap, so I took a more aggressive put credit spread that was mentioned in our chat. I took the 450. If I look at it over here, let's put 5 strikes. So I took the 450, 445 Meta credit spread expiring in 2 weeks. So the nice thing is, as long as Meta stays above 450 in 2 weeks, I do pretty well. It should have the strength to withstand a market pullback. The more nervy thing is that we haven't had a lot of time to digest gains. It could still be moving down. So I'd like to see, a couple more days, ideally. So this is not probably my most confident pick, I'll say. But I like the setup, and I like the fact that we are able to get a good credit in a very short amount of time, right? In less than 2 weeks, we can get a nice credit on the stock. So I like that. I'm currently also in a Netflix PCS, strong earnings move up, and it's digested some of the gains. This has a lot more time. You can see how it's holding the 8 EMA AVWAP-E. And my stop here is below this January 24th. So I got in the March 1st expiration for $1.10 credit. I got $1.01, so I was pretty happy with that. But I got in here for $1.10 and 10 cents credit. So this one is a little bit longer, about a month out, but should still hold up quite well. I'm in currently a VFC time spread that has, I wouldn't say gone bad, but it has been doing pretty well. So let's see if I got the fill here on VFC. So we need to re-put in that order. But VFC is moving back up, which is very nice. You can see here how it found support on these low minus trend lines, and it's well within the 14% expected move on the gap, trying to rally up higher. So I like the move that VFC is doing. As soon as it starts to move in higher, right, and we have a couple of days, then I have a good potential of getting my profits on this earnings time spread. I also took an earnings time spread last night for CVS. So took it in at a 23-cent debit and exited for a 28-cent credit. So nice, a little bit less than 20% move on that stock. Pretty nice overall. Finally, let's look at Zoom. So Zoom broke through technical resistance, not super great, but it has been finding support around this level over here. Not quite sure what is. See if there's any lines coming up now. 1 OTL past. OTL now. Okay, so nothing super major coming up now, but this spread expires on Friday, so it would have to rally $3 to get through my point. There's also the SMAs in the way, so we need a pretty significant market move for this to happen. I believe that it's probably going to expire as a full loss, so I'm ready to take the full loss on this position, but that's kind of the outcome I'm watching for. The final one I took over here is cost. So I took a long on cost, really strong daily chart. This line was kind of broken here, but very strong daily chart, hugging the EMA, sloping up very nicely. We have some time before earnings. Relative strength has gone down a little bit, but to me, this is a super, super nice daily, and it has been skyrocketing up. So I really like cost, and I plan to continue holding this for a short-term swing. And I may add if it shows relative strength in any case, but you can see it moves up, pulls back a little bit, tests the breakout, grinds up higher. So nice grindy stock. Right now it is down on me. So entered on this high of the day breakout, but you can see here how it's pulling back pretty decently. So this is a nice sign of relative weakness. So I'm watching out for this here. I don't like this sign of relative weakness, and I want to see cost come back and test this with vigor on the counter move up. I know on a long-term time frame they are buyers, so I view this as just some minor profit taking. The other trade I took here was PANW earlier. So PANW, we had a nice gap up. We're digesting the gains. I took it on this LRSI cross here at around 36.70, 364.70. Came back, tested this level, pulled back a little bit. Pretty choppy pullback on this stock, but I like the breakout. And if I look at my D1 support, right, I'd want this level to hold, which is around this 350 level, I'll say, right? So if we'd hold around 350, that's about a 1 ATR move on PANW. Some other ones that I really liked here, TSM, excellent breakout, getting a little bit extended, but still really, really nice. Let's look at this M5 chart on TSM. Super beautiful, starting to grind up higher, past its high of the day. Excellent volume. So TSM is really nice. Dash was one that was excellent here. You can see it's moved up higher, breaking out through this bullish channel. Dash was really great. We already talked about AXP. Now was one that was quite interesting, starting to break out of its compression. ZS, you can see it's compressing here, has still yet to break out. Not as strong as some of the other stocks in its sector. Cost we already saw. So a lot of nice picks today. So there's a lot of great potentials. The main thing we have to keep in mind is just the long-term market context, right? My fear is I don't want to get into a bunch of long swings and have the door slammed in my face. I don't think it'll be super slammed, but if I'm doing short-term swings, And if I'm not trading options, so I don't have to worry about the time decay. But if I'm doing shorter term swings, I would have to weather any sort of market pullback and see this surge higher. And I'm also cautious that we might get some sort of resistance at the SPY 500 level. So that's kind of what I'm cautious for. And because of that market context, that's 65% of the puzzle. So because of that market context, I don't want to overload on too many positions. So what I have right now, Meta, cost, pan for swings, because we are above the prior day high. I really like that. And we have two put credit spreads, Netflix and Meta. So those are my two put credit spreads. So put credit spreads will distance myself from the action. The short-term swings will allow me to take advantage of this current move up. And I want to take profits pretty quickly overnight, if possible, 2 to 3 days. I want to see this move happen quickly because we don't have this pullback. So I'm not having the best market entry point, but I do see some potential and some really nice picks. So the position from the last video 2 days ago was SMCI. So you can see that we took it here when it had excellent relative strength. It has to digest some of these gains. I do believe there was a nice potential for you to take SMCI earlier, or whoops, somewhere over here. So if you got in around like 666, let's say, let's look at this here. So somewhere, yeah, let's say, you take it on a pullback entry, get it somewhere here around 656. You have a nice half ATR move somewhere here. You see how it gets really close to 700 right here? So I would have actually been taking profits somewhere around here on SMCI because I mentioned in that video, you can go back and check, we had that 700 level coming into play. These really big hold numbers usually act as psychological resistance. It could break through, but again, keep in mind our market context. We're keeping it shorter term. So I want this to produce in 1, 2, 3 days, right? I want it to be a shorter term swing on this kind of position. So pull back, surged up higher, take your profits, right? So SMCI, count that as a win in my book. Let's take a look at Ally, which we are still in. Ally over here. You can see how it broke to this level here, came back. It's finding support at this horizontal resistance at the breakout. Let's look at an H1 chart. So you can see here, right? Let's zoom out a little bit. We'll let us zoom out. Let's see. All right, so it may not let us zoom out. So let's look at an H2 chart. Might be a little bit easier to see some of that price action. So you can see here how this level, try to gap up. We couldn't make it. We broke through it, came back over here. All these people who are selling, right? They're waiting for it to come back to their price, and they're scratching. They're breaking even. So they're breaking even, and they're supporting this level on Ally. So we can see here that these shorts who are covering are giving some support, and buyers who wanted a chance to get in at this level are able to enter. So we're seeing actions from both sides over here. Also some sideline bulls, right? We have a longer term strong stock. Sideline bullish specs, we'll see it, hey, Ally's back at this price. It's back at $35. Let me get in on Ally because it's a really nice steady stock and I'm able to get in at a good price. So I still like Ally over here. I don't like the relative weakness. LRSI, you can get it out for a shorter term trade, but if you're willing to hold it longer because it's a nice steady grinder, I still think it's a good long-term trade. So we are staying in Ally. If I had to give my pick for this video, here's my top picks. First, we have Pan W. We have Cost, which I'm in. Then we have Meta. Pan W, Cost, Meta, TSM, Dash, yeah, a couple of nice picks, but my absolute best pick is, I think, going to be Pan W. This is just a super strong stock, nice compression, breakout of compression. I mean, this is just the perfect D1 chart entry over here. I absolutely love this chart. So Pan W will be my pick. I want a shorter term swing. So I like to get like a half ATR move. So if I can get $5 on the stock, that'll be super nice. So short term swing on Pan W based on the market criteria. And we're going to take a look at this in a few days. My stop would be this level here around 350. And my target would be somewhere like 370-ish. So that is the pick of this video. Thank everyone for watching, and we will take a look at the picks in the next video.